Time to get fired up about some Rangers baseball. Rangers and Tigers tonight. Game number 3 of this great series. Been a really good series so far, despite the loss last night. Rangers pitching staff has just held it together. They're like glue. They're like this just magic powder this season. It's like names that you never thought would be in this rotation, because the names that we thought would be in the rotation, they're all on the disabled list. Mike Rodriguez and Nathan Wood, Jeff Kavanaugh helping out producing today. By the way, Brian Broaddus is coming on 3:30 to talk about the Cowboys. But I want to talk about the Rangers right now. I want to ask a question to you guys on our fan text hotline, 43733. I'm going to give you a list of names. Pick one. Which arm do you want back strong, 100% healthy for the second half? Colby Lewis, Alexi Ogando, Neftali Feliz, Matt Harrison, or Joakim Soria? Pick an arm, he's 100%, and you got him for the stretch run. Who's your guy, Nathan?
I'm having trouble picking between Colby and Alexi Ogando. Because, and I'm going to say probably Alexi Ogando for this very reason. I don't really think he's that hurt right now. They did an MRI, no structural damage. He just bicep tendonitis. He's going to come back pretty soon. But he gives me an ability to do both. I can either throw him in my rotation at the end of the season, or if my bullpen, that Wash is still talking about, he wants another right-handed arm in his bullpen, I can put him in the bullpen. I know what he can do 7th or 8th inning. Now, we have guys that are doing it right now, but I can put him in either situation. Colby's going to be back probably June 4th. He's on track for that. I don't know what I'm going to get out of him right off the bat. But to me, Matt Harrison, it's going to take too long. He's probably not going to come back till like
September,
August, September, something like that. I could seriously do without Neftali Feliz or Soria. I know Soria was an all-star at one point with the Royals, but I have no clue what I'm going to get out of him. And I'm not so sure. We were talking during the break, and Jeff said, I'm not so sure any of the coaching staff wants Neftali Feliz back. He's shown no desire and no heart to want to try and get back on this club.
Last time we saw Neftali Feliz, I think, was, June of last year? And then it's been, okay, you're going to have the surgery, you're going to start the rehab, then you're going to come back, and we're just waiting. But let's not forget.
I just think there's a big question about Neftali Feliz in the organization as far as his work ethic and being in shape, and how much does he actually care to be good at baseball. He's just like such a natural talent. It's like, yeah, I can whip this thing up here at 100 miles an hour, no big deal. And Mike Bassett was telling me, he's like, he just doesn't really seem to put in the work on his other pitches, and apparently he has a beer belly now, so I'm kind of writing off Feliz.
I don't want to write him off because you just mentioned it, the 100-mile-per-hour fastball and the electricity that guy brought. But I'm kind of with you, Nathan. I don't know if we're going to see Neftali Feliz at all this year, and I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Because if you have enough arms, and if this guy can find it again and get healthy and not get hurt again and not just burn out or fizzle out, because part of the fear is you bring Feliz back too soon, and then something happens again, and then something happens again. It's another part of the
What would his job be if you brought him back? Because to me, I look at these guys and I say, what do I need the most? Right now, I'm not saying Justin Grimm and Nick Tepish haven't done a great job in what they've done, but I need a been there, I've been in the wars type starting pitcher, which that means I need Colby Lewis back, or I need Alexi Ogando back for my starting rotation. A right-handed arm in the bullpen, if you're giving me the option between Neftali, between Soria, and between Alexi Ogando, if I can put him out there, I'm going to take Alexi all day long. All day long. Now, the other thing is the emergence of Tanner Scheppers has almost made Neftali Feliz's job obsolete. Because what was his job going to be if he's on this team? Joe Nathan's your closer. You need a right-handed guy to go out there and get you, outs in the 8th inning. Get him to Joe Nathan. Tanner Scheppers is doing that job right now.
But if something happens to Nathan and you have a healthy Neftali Feliz, would you be tempted to put him back in that role?
As closer?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Hell no?
Not after that World Series. If you're not mentally able to take the ball and you're my closer,
Tanner Scheppers is my closer. In a heartbeat.
You're done. Mike, would you put the ball back in his hand?
Yeah.
A guy that literally,
I think I would.
A guy that looked the skipper in the eye and said, I can't go out there. I'm done.
We're going to, and actually it's interesting we brought up closers because that's part of our Settle the Debate segment this week. We're going to debate over the best closers of all time. And the best closers of all time have all had that moment in the World Series. They've all failed in the World Series. They've all failed in the postseason.
He wouldn't take the ball. You had to put Darren Oliver out there to try to save the World Series.
So you don't think...
I can't get over that.
You don't think Neftali Feliz will ever save another game in his career?
Not with the Rangers. I don't think so.
Interesting.
I'm with Jeff. He might save another game, but if you're telling me I got to put a closer name next to a guy, if Joe Nathan's not out there, Tanner Scheppers is getting that job 5 times before Neftali Feliz gets it.
Fan text coming in at 43733. A lot of votes right now for Colby Lewis, and I'm kind of with you guys. Out of all the
you would
names,
give him the ball back? You would give it to Feliz? With a game on the line?
I absolutely would. I still think that guy has, if he comes back and he's healthy,
and
he
mentally
gets
weak
past,
closer is terrifying to me.
Yeah, but he was mentally weak at 23 years old, 24 years old. If you get that guy back in a situation, you let him build up his confidence again. How many? I mean, look at the numbers.
You got to let him watch Gladiator or something.
Look at the numbers, Jeff.
Got to get him in the right
numbers,
mind
Nate.
frame.
This is a kid that was winning Rookie of the Year. He was untouchable. He had over 40 saves that season. He's going to be, I don't think he's going to be a great starting pitcher, and I was never in favor of Feliz being a great starting pitcher. I always said, keep this guy as your closer. He's my guy. Let him ride that out for the rest of his career. Yeah, I'd give him the shot. I would absolutely give him a shot, and hey, call me crazy. Fan texts, though, are actually on my side when it comes to the one arm I want back, and this kind of ties into your point, Nathan, is that if you're looking for that guy that you need the most for the rest of this season, I would love a rotation of you, Colby Lewis, Holland, and then whoever's left. Is it Tepesh or is it Ogando or whoever steps up? But if I go into a playoff series with a healthy Colby Lewis as my number 2 now, I'm feeling pretty good about that.
You jump him up to number 2 ahead of Derek Holland?
Well, I think I probably would put him ahead of Holland just based on the postseason experience, and you never know which Derek Holland's showing up. If Colby Lewis was your ace in the postseason the way he was a few years ago,
yes, that is true.
Then
Postseason Colby is different than regular season Colby.
Then he should get the second spot.
To me, I just want, and Colby Lewis, like you said, he'd come in and be number 2. To me, that just bumps everybody else down. If Colby Lewis comes back, Nick Tepesh or Justin Grimm is not in my rotation. Because don't forget, we left one guy off this list, and that's Martin Perez. Because when Martin Perez comes back, John Daniels will tell Wash, find a spot for him somewhere amongst the pitching staff. Because this guy's too valuable. He's too high of a prospect for us. I want him on the field showing what he can do. So don't forget that Martin Perez, when he comes back, they will find a spot for him. Whether or not it's long relief or he becomes the number 5 guy in the rotation, he's another arm that when he gets back, he will have a spot.
And this discussion right here just kind of symbolizes why the Rangers have such a great record this season. More pitching than you know what to do with, and backup pitching is what makes an organization great in baseball, and the Rangers have just mastered that art of making sure that they've had enough arms to get the job done despite some pretty big injuries to their starting pitching staff.